Welcome everyone to Walk in the Weird. I am Tyler, and as always with me,
It's Sean, yo.
and we have apparently another just action-packed, fun-filled case of joy and glitter.
This one's a little sad. Remember, I made a mistake last episode by telling you there was
Oh,
something wrong with.
cool! It's this
Yeah,
one. Thank you.
yeah, it's that one.
Yay!
That's the one with the note.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm so.
sorry.
What's the name of this one?
This guy's called Brian Schaffer. Apparently, people with B's in their name go missing fucking all the time. All the time.
We've had like 3 Brians.
Brandon Lawson, Brandon Swanson, Brian Schaffer, and I'm sure there's another Brian somewhere in one of the cases that we've done.
Brandon Schwan from
Swanson.
Swanson.
Bless you.
No, that was Brian Swanson.
Brandon Swanson. The dad was Brian Swanson.
Oh my god, there's too many.
You alright?
Could you stop going away, all of you?
Stop disappearing.
Yeah, we can't do this.
We would really appreciate it if you just fucking stop for a
it's
minute.
a lot.
Just for a minute.
That's a lot. That's why they can't find them. Because they're getting mixed up.
Brian Swanson, Brian Lawson. It's like, that's not me, bro. It's like, oh, never mind then.
It's not their fault.
They wanted to be found. Anyway, all right.
So who is this?
This guy's who is this? This guy's Brian Schaffer. He's famously known for being the guy who disappeared in the middle of nowhere. He's literally disappeared in a crowded bar with one way out and one way in.
So he walked out?
No, he did not. There's no footage of him walking out, no footage of him walking in from any exit, from any potential place that he could have done that. There's cameras everywhere.
So he did walk in?
He walked in.
Oh, okay, because I was going to say, you just said he didn't walk in. I was like,
oh, no,
so he just appeared?
No, I thought you said he didn't walk out. No. He walked in. He walked in with his friends, and he never walked out. They show him on camera.
That'd be weird. Like, you're like the bartender setting up. It's like, hey, man, don't talk to him. Why? He's always here. He doesn't leave? No. He's always been here.
No, according to his friends, before I get into this, according to his friends, when they were talking about it during the investigation, they said he went to go grab a drink, and they asked the bartender, did he ever make it there? And he goes, no. He goes, I saw him, and then he didn't make it over here. And they're like, so where did he go? And they're like, I have no clue. So, without further ado, do you have any questions before actually?
No. I want to hear the rest because that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, none of this ever makes sense.
The only question I have is like, is he like super generic? So maybe they mixed him up. Because you had those guys that are just
they're just like the basic face.
Yeah, and then it's not their fault they don't see him anymore because
like you're pretty unique. You're kind of like people could spot you in a crowd. Like,
yep.
He's the only one that looks like he should be doing a Geico commercial. That's my buddy.
I'd be good as the chaos guy.
What?
You know what I'm talking? Where he's like he's
Mayhem.
Yeah, I'd be good as Mayhem.
Chaos guy. This guy.
I'd be good as Mayhem.
Don't
just
be
like driving.
Don't be citing commercials to me when you don't know. What the fuck?
I know the Deep Lore Witch. I was there when it was written.
Right. I was actually gonna say that, but I couldn't remember the quote, so I was like, "Fuck it, I'll make something up on the fly."
Don't cite me, the Deep Lore Witch,
bro. Dude, I watched that movie recently. Horrible. That line is like the only reason I watched it. Horrible movie.
Aslan.
Narnia. Horrible.
Aslan.
Although I do like Mr. Thomas. I respect Mr. Thomas more as I go.
Tumnus.
Tumnus?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now fuck that guy. He has an unneeded N in his fucking name. Fuck that guy. Half sheep fuck.
I'm not going to say that. Never mind.
With his hooves? What were we going to say?
Nothing. It was bad.
This whole case is bad.
No, it's really bad.
How bad?
Bad.
Worse than what you said in the last few episodes?
Yeah.
I doubt it. What is it? Say it.
No, literally, I was like, well, apparently that guy didn't need his N either because he's missing.
Oh. Sad. True. Yeah. True. Very sad. Okay. Ready?
Set.
Spaghetti. I'm sorry.
Go.
All right. So the background. Sorry. Brian Schaffer grew up in Pinkerton.
Oh my God! Get normal names for your town.
Yeah, dude.
That's why no one can find you guys.
You're in Ohio. Why do you have a 2-syllable fucking name? Just call
every
it
time.
Downwind. Something.
Yellow River Crossing.
Yellow Medicine River. Why is it called Yellow Medicine River? Like
that's got to be a racist thing.
That's racist for sure.
Yeah, that's got to be a weird.
For sure. Fucking real.
You made it war racist. I kept it vague.
What about it? No, saying more racist would have been way worse. There's way worse that it could have said. Anyway, he lives in Ohio. It's a suburb outside of Columbus. Why don't you just say fucking Columbus then? It's like Mesa. Nobody knows what it is. Just like Phoenix. Anyway, the elder of Randy and Renee Schaefer's two sons. I don't say a brother. He graduated. I'm discovering shit too, so give me a minute. He graduated from a local high school. Oh, it's local? I'm just kidding. No, he graduated from a local high school in 1997 and went to Ohio State University, OSU. I don't know
Mm.
why we needed to know that, but apparently it was important information. For his undergraduate work, I almost said
What?
underground railroad work.
I was about to ask, is it also with windmills? Because apparently this is a thing.
Oh, the wind turbine? Yeah,
Yeah.
whose job is that? What do you do? I study wind turbines.
Dude, no wonder that stuff doesn't work. The one guy that knew about it is missing.
Okay, I'm
Sorry.
I'm gonna be completely serious real quick. It reminds me of those HGTV fucking shows. They're like, "What's your budget? $4 million. It's our first house. What do you do?
They
I
work
press
at-
pencils.
They
What about
work
your
at
husband?
Circle K.
Right. I press pencils. What does your husband do? He collects butterflies.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. How's your budget $4 million?
Yeah.
Go get the fuck out of here.
He works at Circle K, but all he does is wipe the drink counter.
Get out.
And they have a $4 million budget.
Our budget is $4 million. I'd be
He's
at the
that
real
one
estate agent.
guy.
Go fuck yourself.
I'd be so mad. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna find out in the paperwork that you're lying.
This is gonna be the biggest commission I've ever had, you fucks. Anyway, so oh, it said cramming, and I thought it was going somewhere else. I was like, wait a minute. No, Randy celebrated the occasion by having a steak dinner earlier that evening. Schaefer's father, which again, Randy Schaefer's father.
This is Brian.
No. This is Randy Schaefer, his dad.
Okay.
Hang on. Let me give you guys a little bit more background, then we'll go into this. All right. So, um, he studied his undergraduate work for 6 years. 6 years later, he graduated with a degree in microbiology. Found that his dad is very involved in it. That's why I'm bringing his dad up a lot.
Okay.
He's very involved in his life. So, following that, Schaefer began studies at the College of Medicine of OSU in 2004. During his second year there, in March 2006, his mother died of melodysplasia.
Oh, that's sad.
That sucks. I feel bad for Brian Schaefer. I mean, for
Randy.
Brian Schaefer and Randy Schaefer. You know, I understand how something like that could really fuck you up, especially when you're on such a good path. But anyway, Schaefer's friends say that although he appeared to be handling it well, her death was hard on him. During his time at medical school, Schaefer had become romantically involved with another medical student, Alexis Wagner. Wagoner, not Wagner. I'm sorry. She, along with her families and friends, believed that Brian would probably be proposing marriage to her in the late 2006, most likely on a trip to Miami that the couple had planned for spring break at the beginning of April. In tropical locations such as Miami attracted Schaefer, so they've been planning this for a while. All these remote locations and everything like that during the spring break, right? He liked to relax and he liked an easier lifestyle. He told his friends that despite his decision to
All right, we're back. We think aliens just took our camera.
or NSA,
We're working on it. Anyway, back to the case.
no, I'm just kidding. His decision to pursue a medical career, his real ambition was to start a band and playing in the music vein of Jimmy Buffett. I don't know his accent, otherwise I would have done that, as I studied before. Whatever. So, did you have any questions up to this point, my guy?
No, that because he hasn't gone missing yet.
I mean, about the backstory,
No, it seems like pretty normal.
my guy.
He's white.
He's white. How do you know he's white?
Dude,
Schaefer, that could be
his backstory is generic white guy from Lifetime movie.
because he's from Ohio.
Yes.
He's from BYU.
Am I
he's not
wrong?
BYU. Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Okay, fine. We'll go into the disappearance. All right. So the disappearance on March 31st, a Friday, classes at OSU ended for spring break following the week. Schaefer and his father Randy celebrated the occasion by having a steak dinner earlier that evening. Schaefer's father noted that he seemed exhausted from having pulled up all nighters earlier in the week from cramming for finals and all that stuff, and for some critical upcoming exams. He did not think that Schaefer would go out with a friend. This friend being William Florence, also referred to as Clint. Clint, not Clit. Don't do that. Stop that. Get that out of your head. Clint. Later that night, as he planned to do. However, he did. but did not express his reservation to his son. He was kind of like, hey, don't you want to just like take it easy?
But
But he didn't really
he's
say anything.
20.
He, he's an old enough kid, whatever, right? Anyway, at 9 p.m., Schaefer met Clint at the Ugly Tuna Saloon. Which why are you going? That was your first mistake. Why are you going? That sounds like a strip club on a Tuesday where you see all the fucking C-section scars and shit. Like lap dances are $250 at max, like $2, not 200, $250 at max. And one of the younger girls is on there doesn't know that you don't have to give hand jobs at the end.
That's kind of embarrassing. Like that's where you go missing.
Well, I don't think that's where he went missing.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, all right. I was like, I don't want to do this story anymore. I feel bad.
if he went missing at a fucking gentleman club, bro, he deserves to be gone. That is
no. I'm
exactly
saying
where
that
he wants to go.
the tuna, whatever.
The Tuna Saloon. It was a stripper. It was a stripper bar. Didn't I just say that?
Is it?
Oh no, it's a bar. It's just a regular bar. Never mind.
That's
That's
still
fine.
embarrassing.
Yeah, in the South Campus Gateway Complex. So there's actually a picture of it where you can see the whole gateway. It's like this little thing that they have like at Scottsdale and stuff. But yeah, the bar was called Ugly Tuna Saloon. Plot twist: it is where he goes missing. But anyway, so an hour later, Schaefer called Wagoner, who had to return home who had returned to her home in Toledo, Jesus, to visit with her family before she and Schaefer, I almost said Schaefer were due to depart for Miami. Schaefer and Florence Clint went bar hopping, visiting several other drinking establishments and working their way down the Arena District. At each stop, look it up. At each stop, the two had one shot each of hard liquor, according to Florence. So I don't know how many bars there are, but they were having two drinks. So the alcohol
They
is
had
flowing.
enough. They had enough.
They had enough.
They were whiskey rowing it.
Right, exactly. All right. So the Ugly Tuna Saloon was located in the upper story of the building on the right in the picture that I'm going to show right here. It's the one, I believe it's this one over here on this side. We'll show you. Anyway, so after midnight, Schaefer and Florence Clint met Meredith Reed, a friend of Clint, in the short north. It's really hard because if I don't say Clint and emphasize, I'm gonna say Clint
I
every
keep
time.
thinking of Clint Eastwood.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you were thinking of Clint too. I was like, brother, no, okay, but I have to emphasize Clint and Florence just doesn't roll off the tongue. Like no one just called Florence casually. Sounds like a
That's
bath product. Anyway,
yeah.
Florence, Clint, and Reed.
These sound
Oh, I'm sorry.
like story like novel characters.
Right,
Like the people you just have names for because you have to have semi normal names because you can't call them old John.
right. These sound like characters from the Adventures of Tom Sawyer and shit
Yeah,
like that.
you could see them in Scooby Doo.
After midnight, Schaefer and Florence met Meredith Reed, a friend of Florence in the short north. Reed gave them a ride back to the Ugly Tuna Saloon. Apparently, this place is popping. Apparently, this place is
We're
popping.
going to the wrong place,
Bro, we need to go to the Ugly Tuna Saloon. What are we
apparently,
doing?
you
Like,
might get lost, but
we'll go missing, but it'll be a hell of a time. Apparently, a hell of a time. Anyway, so where they had started the night originally and joined them for the last round back at that same place. Schaefer separated from his. I thought it said. I thought it said commandants. I was like, what? No, companions. While the three were there, and it was the last time he was seen on security camera before he goes missing, and he was seen just outside the bar at 2 a.m. The last seen on security where he goes with his companions. That makes sense.
and
Did you
then,
go over it?
so like
Just outside the bar, he's seen for the last time on security camera with his friends.
okay,
Okay, I don't know if I said that correctly. I don't think I did. I
no,
think I fucked it up.
no,
Did I?
you made it sound like he was walking to them.
No. He's walking away from them. He got into the bar with them, and that's the last time that they're seen, and then they separate for a minute. And this is where the whole stroganoff happens. Anyway, what was I? Shut up.
You were with him.
Oh, I was with him. All right. Florence and Reed attempted to find Schaefer, repeatedly calling after him. They left with other patrons when the bar closed at 2 a.m. So to this point, they hadn't seen him. So right at 2 a.m. they go inside for the last time, and at 2 a.m. they start closing the bar. So they're looking for them for the last time at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're waiting outside the bar for Schaffer. When he was not amongst the departing crowd, they assumed that he had returned to his apartment without letting them know. Wagner and Schaffer's father tried to call him later that weekend, but he did not answer. On Monday morning, he missed the flight to Miami he and Wagner had scheduled long before. He was then, I thought it said raped missing. He was reported missing to the Columbus police. I'm so sorry, y'all. So he, at this point, when he's reported to the Columbus police, he has now been missing for since Friday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Monday.
and Monday he's been missing.
Monday it's been called. Yeah.
Right. So the investigation. Police began their search. Or did you have any questions about the circumstances so far?
No, it's just
The only thing I can pretty much think of is I'm a little disappointed at the friends for just kind of
it seems
like
like it took
leaving
him
him.
hours to figure out that he's not there.
Almost like they didn't really like not that they didn't give a shit, but it's like he'll deal with it whatever.
And
You
this
know what
is
I mean?
not back in the day. Everyone has cell phones.
Yeah, right. This was literally 2015. Like
Because
we have
I
cell
can
phones.
understand, before cell phones, you could be anywhere,
Yeah,
dude. Like
you have
that's
to figure it out.
normal. Like, okay, you went back to the hotel, didn't tell us. So, like, well, that happens all the time. But
Mm-hmm.
now it's like you didn't text him, you didn't call
You didn't
him,
call
you
him. You didn't
didn't.
figure anything out at all. For me, I don't know. When we go out with our friends, if I don't see you guys after like 2 hours, hey, where are y'all at? Where y'all at? Because I'm probably either getting ready to go or I'm wanting to see what you guys want to do or whatever. Like I'm constant communication with y'all. Like our friends are our friends the only ones that do that
Apparently,
because some
this
of
is
these
not the
people
first time.
no, like the guys with the UFO where they
Yeah,
just fucking
they
straight
just
up ditched the
left
dude.
him.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
he got abducted by a UFO and you're just like, hey, I'm out. Fucking assholes. Anyway, in the investigation, the police began their search for Schaefer at the Ugly Tuna Saloon. Again, popping
apparently.
the bar where he had last been seen since the area around the South Campus Gateway was somewhat, I guess, not plagued with it, but yeah, plagued with a little bit of high crime. So it is a little bit of a risky area. At the Gateway building, pretty much is where this crime is localized. Um, this building, the Gateway, like I said before, to house the bar and other businesses, and they had installed security cameras as this was a very well known thing by the people who owned the shops there.
Okay.
So they reviewed the footage, which showed Schaefer, which actually was a good thing in this case because they were able to review all the footage like this. That so they reviewed the footage. Um, ooh, ouch, dude, that really hurt. Oh, I hit myself. What an idiot. They reviewed the footage, which showed Schaefer, Florence, and Reed going up on an escalator to the bar's main entrance at 1:15. Schaefer was seen outside the bar at around 1:55, taking, taking, talking briefly with two young women and saying goodbye, then moving off camera. The camera did not record him leaving shortly thereafterward when the Ugly Tuna Saloon closed. So it's very non-descriptive here. When he's talking to the girls, he walks back in.
So he's still in there.
Yeah, he's right outside. Because okay, I'm gonna try to see if I can post a video, but it's a escalator that goes up, and then the entrance is right there to the side. So he's literally right outside before the escalator, in full view of the camera, which pans all the way over, and you can see him talking to people, and then he goes that way,
So he
right?
goes back inside.
So he goes back inside. All right. So he was talking to that girl, which was one of those things where people started being kind of concerned with like who were these people and everything like that. The camera did not record him leaving there shortly afterwards when the Ugly Tuna Saloon closed. This was the last known time that Schaefer was seen, again, around that 1:55, 2 o'clock mark that we were talking about before. It was possible investigators realized that um, it was possible that investigators realized that Schaefer could have changed his clothes in the bar and put on a hat and kept his head down, hiding his face from the camera. He might have also left the building by another route, a service door not generally used by the public. It was a short distance away from where Brian was last seen. This exit led to a first floor hallway, which featured access at the time to a construction area with its own exterior exit. Some officers believed this would have been a difficult walk through while sober, much less intoxicated, as Schaefer likely was at the time. massively intoxicated because he's been taking 2 shots everywhere, and now it's 2 o'clock. So he's been down in that pony. You know what I mean? Um. So yeah, they seemed that it was a very unlikely walk sober, let alone intoxicated, as Schaefer was likely at that time very intoxicated. However, the cameras in that area might also have missed Schaefer because one panned across the area constantly and the other was operated manually. So while they're saying it's unlikely, there is a possibility, but these possibilities are like 0.00000001 that in the that in the fucking 30 businesses that they're there, no camera caught them due to negligence. That is a 0.00001%. But I digress. Um,
But to,
since
but to be fair on there, and like if it's that popular, people start blending in.
right, people do start blending in, they start getting crowded. Crowded. It is a good fact to know that Columbus is actually one of the places that have the most security cameras in any city in Idaho. Ironically enough, even more than Cleveland, Cincinnati. They have way more cameras, and Toledo combined. So it's Cincinnati and Toledo combined that they have more cameras. So officers next looked at the footage from other bars and to see if they could find or explain how Schaefer had left the Ugly Tuna Saloon. However, footage from cameras at 3 nearby bars showed no trace of him. The search began to fan out from the Ugly Tuna Saloon with officers sometimes accompanied by police dogs looking closely in the street, inspecting dumpsters and other waste canisters, and asking residents if they had seen Schaefer. Flyers bearing his tattoo showing, or bearing his picture showing a tattoo on his upper right arm of a stick figure logo from a cover of an artwork of a single Alive by Pearl Jam. That's a good album, though. And now that I'm thinking about it, I know exactly which stick figure they're talking about. I'll probably put that up here too. But anyway, um, one of it, one this tattoo was significant because it was one of his favorite bands. So his parents kind of knew him, not just from that, but they knew that he liked this band. Well, at least his mom did before she died. I wasn't trying to. That's just a fact. She died
Uh,
anyway, and noting a distinctive fleck in one of his irises. So there's like a little thing. It's basically a poster that's showing more of his description and talking about how he has like a fleck in his eye on his iris, and then he has a specific tattoo, kind of narrowing down the search a little bit
so
of
he's
what's
not
going
just
on.
generic guy. He's
Right.
actually has
He
some.
has some uniqueness to him. Police even persuaded the city of Columbus to let them know and access the sewer system and search there. No useful information was uncovered, unfortunately. At Schaefer's apartment on King Avenue 6, a few blocks from the bar, his car was still parked outside. Inside, nothing appeared to be amiss. After searching a mile away from the Ugly Tuna Saloon in every direction, police began considering other possibilities besides an accident or foul play. Since Schaefer's mother had recently died, it was speculated that he had gone away temporarily to grieve in solitude. Yet his disappearance proved permanent. No evident reasons appeared for him voluntarily disappearing. Those who had seen Schaefer that evening, including his father, were asked to take a lie detector test. He and Reed passed theirs, as did all the others, while Florence refused. Oh, Florence refused. The two women, the two women Brian had last been seen talking to, were later identified. They said in 2009 that they had never been asked to take one themselves. So the girls weren't asked, but everyone else was asked.
And
Um,
Florence denied.
and Florence denied. Which, by the way, I'm gonna stop right there real quick. For those people who are already giving Florence a bad name, Florence is not obligated to take this lie detector test. Also, it's nice to inform everybody that lie detector tests
Are
are
not
not
reliable.
admissible in court,
They're not because they're not reliable
and they're
enough.
not reliable. And you want to know what makes you disqualified for any interrogation and any lie detector test? That if I do that, none of my testimony is now
Oh, I thought you were
admissible.
going to say like being Hispanic.
No, no, that too. That will be inadmissible at court. Mr. Senor, I was trying to look. No, get the fuck out of here, bro. You don't know what you're talking about.
It's
No,
like, dude,
but
you just said hombre.
no,
You
but
can't be
seriously,
here.
if you're gonna be interrogated by the police and you take a random hit or a random drink, even if it's the littlest one, all your testimony is now inadmissible. And the
But
lawyers will go after it.
it just looks bad.
It just looks bad.
It look no, I'm saying like for her Florence, it just looks bad.
Yeah,
It's like
it does look
why
bad.
like
But he's not obligated. Like
no,
as
no,
much
not
as
at
it's
all.
bad,
It just
yeah,
makes
looks
you look
bad.
bad. It makes you look like a bad friend.
Now Wagner called Schaefer's phone every evening before going to bed for a very long time. This is his going to be his soon to be fiance. Usually it went straight to voicemail, but one night in September it rang thrice. I kept calling, and I kept calling it here to hear it purely because it was one of the best sounds. They were so happy, and she wrote on MySpace at the time. Holy shit! That she was very excited that that time it actually rang. So there's more evidence to show that maybe he was still alive, right?
Or someone has phone, like his phone turned back on, or
Yeah, exactly. And oh, that quote that I said that she kept calling because it was like the best sound. That's what was on her MySpace page as well. Um, Singular Wireless, Schaefer's wireless provider, said that Wagner heard what Wagner heard may have been due to a computer glitch. However, a ping from the phone was detected at a cell tower in Hilliard, 14 miles northwest of Columbus. The police received many tips, none of which resulted in any breakthroughs in the case. At a Pearl Jam concert later that year in Cincinnati, lead singer Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam took time between songs to ask for tips on Schaefer's disappearance, but no
that's
one.
cool.
Yeah, really cool, really cool. Shout out to Eddie Vedder, bro. He stopped the concert and was like, "Hey, where's he at? Help me
Yeah,
out."
he's one of us. Come on,
Yeah,
like
he's supposed to be here watching us. Where
yeah,
are we at? That's dope. I really like that. But none were useful. Possible sightings in Michigan, Texas, and even Sweden were investigated. Randy Schaefer, who had recently suffered the death of his wife, continued to search for his son on his own. A psychic he consulted told him Schaefer's body was in the water near a bridge pier. He and Derek, Brian's younger brother, along with other citizens who had become interested in the case, bought waders and spent much of their free time along the shores of Olentangy River, which flows through Columbus, adjacent to the OSU campus, searching in vain for the body near the bridges. So we're gonna hit the psychic part in just a fucking second.
okay,
Just relax, because there's more sadness to it, and we're gonna get through it. Hang on. Whew. Because that one got me. That one made me mad. Anyway, so this possibility also led to police briefly considering the heavily disputed smiley face murder theory. Schaefer under this theory would have would be the purported serial killer's only victim whose body has not been found. Columbus police eventually rejected any connection to the alleged killer in Schaefer's case, following the lead most law enforcement agencies, including the FBI, that have looked into it. And we are here to this day. And that's it, unfortunately. However, as tragedy does tend to hit hard, um, in September 2008, during a heavy windstorm, Randy Schaefer was not. I'm sorry, 2018 was cleaning debris in the yard in Baltimore, Ohio, in his home, and a branch flew off from a nearby tree and fatally struck him. Neighbors found his body and the following day called the police. After his obituary ran online, a condolence book was posted. One of the signatures on it said, "To Dad, love Brian." This suggested that Brian might have left Columbus for a new life elsewhere. However, upon further investigation, the note was found to have been posted from a computer accessible to the public in Franklin County. It was determined to be a hoax. Um, so he died not knowing where his son was, and
yep.
then someone had the audacity to write a note about
It's the
making
fucking
it
internet,
seem
dude.
like his son left him a goodbye note and didn't
I
bother.
I'm happy that it's a hoax because that's worse.
I'm not. I'm not
No,
happy that
no,
it's a hoax.
no.
Like I wish it was fucking real.
No. I'm happy it's a hoax because that's worse, dude. So it's like you couldn't let your dad know that you were okay. you wait until he died.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm saying. I'm glad it's a hoax because
at least.
yeah, and you know like the let's get on to the psychic. Fuck you.
Yeah. Look, I'm okay with you guys trying to make a living. Psychics do what they got to do. They do what they got to do. I get it. Everyone has a hustle. Don't play with a guy's murdered son or a disappeared son and tell him that his body is over there because you know what he's gonna do. He's gonna run there immediately looking for him. Imagine he's dedicated his whole life.
I hope he beats the shit out of you. I hope he like afterwards he just beat the shit
He
out of
just
you.
beat the shit out of you. His
Like
brother and everybody was looking mercilessly under the place that you specified, and you probably
that's
took $50 from them to give them that
yeah, you
information.
didn't care. Like that's
As much as I I defend Florence, I think he knew.
what happened.
I think he knew what happened. I think they definitely knew what happened. I don't think anybody else knew, but I think Florence knew. I think Florence was like, "I got you, bro."
Like he started a new life or whatever.
I honestly believe that in my mind, I honestly believe Brian Schaefer did. And what they didn't mention in part of the articles I read, I kind of picked this up later. The police followed the theory of them possibly changing hats and possibly changing clothes and all that stuff, and they followed a guy who they had not seen come in because he came in dressed differently, and then he walked out with a bag, a hat, a jacket, and the bag had his laptop. So they followed that guy. They tracked him down, and they were hoping to find Brian Schaefer, and it turns out it was another guy. He confirmed. He was like, "No, that's me." He goes, "I'm walking in." He goes, "It's the same bag." He goes, "I'm walking in." He goes, and then I walk out, and I have my hat and my jacket on, which was in my bag. He goes, "I'm sorry, guys." He goes, "I really want to help, but that's
That's
me."
me.
He's
Yeah.
like, "That's me, dog." And it was kind of like a from the reports, it kind of broke the mood of everybody, including the police officers, that they
They're
were
hoping
like,
that he switched
yeah,
clothes or something. He's all
yeah.
right. But
And they could have just at least found an
so
answer.
what do you think happened?
I think because of the grieving of his mom. I think because of the grieving of his mom and because he wanted to start a band and do all that, I think he left. I don't think he wanted to marry this girl. It seemed like everybody else
Wanted
wanted
him to
him to
marry?
marry this girl, minus him. Everyone was like, "Oh yeah, he's supposed to be proposing here soon." Well, did he say that?
Yeah.
Well, no. It's like,
Did he tell you
nah,
he's proposing,
yeah,
or did you
but
tell
they
him to
assumed, yeah.
propose? Yeah, that's very different.
So they there's a lot of issues with that.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like,
but I don't.
I'm
Why
glad that
wouldn't
the
you let your parents know? Like, hey, something, something like something small, so they know you're alive.
and we don't know the relationship that Randy and his dad had. Like, he seemed very involved in everything, but they had just suffered a recent loss. People change when there's losses. He might have,
Like he didn't want to like we literally just talked about this in the last episode. Like he didn't want to live that life no more, so he
yeah,
just left.
he just left, and maybe he was like no, or maybe his dad changed and wasn't the same, or like even if sorry, I'm checking something downstairs. Even if they don't change for the worse, sometimes people shut off when someone dies, and the other people are like, I can't be around this. Like, I can't do this anymore.
But it doesn't mean you live like that. Like you leave like that. Like I don't know.
I get it, but maybe he was just done with it. I don't know. It's hard to see what's
Yeah,
in
just
people's
stress
headspace.
or I just don't see how like if you're thinking like foul play, but who? Why?
The girls maybe they weren't asked to do a lie detector test, but again,
But
if they
why?
did it, why would
Like
you volunteer that information?
yeah, would especially now that people know who you are. Like why?
But also think about it. He had different aspirations than what he was doing. He was
Yeah,
already going through an emotional stress, and every other friend was cool with everything except for the one that might possibly know exactly where he's at.
maybe he still does. Maybe he knows he's fine.
Yeah, maybe he knows.
He's
Hey,
like, dude, I see him all the time. I just don't tell nobody. Like and
he's probably the only one that read that note. And if the city sounds similar to where his friend told him, he's probably like, "Oh, that's him." You guys
yeah,
don't know, but that is him.
yeah. Or he wrote it. He's like, hey, he told me to.
Yeah, I hate to bring this false hope up, but that could be a possibility.
And then and
Or
and
Bigfoot.
yeah,
Bigfoot needed a drink and just grabbed him and said later.
Dude, he just came in here and took our camera.
Yeah, or the
Like,
NSA.
he can do whatever he wants. Yeah.
Men in Black, bro.
Yep. Aliens.
Aliens.
They saw
No,
my hat.
no, but I think that the note thing was kind of fucked up, but at the same time, it could have been him. I get it. Like it might have been, but nothing beats
That's
the
that's
psychic thing.
that's the that's the wishful thinking. Oh, if I left and I found out that like my parents were consulting a psychic, I would come back and be like, no,
Yeah. First of
no,
all, she's wrong, just on
no,
principle.
no.
That reminds me of that one case with Sylvia Brown. Um, it's Sylvia Brown the psychic. You remember the psychic, right?
Uh, sure.
She was like this fat white bitch that used to go on Maury all the time,
Okay.
and she wrote a bunch of books, and she looks weird. She looks like an apple. She literally looks like an apple, and
Is she one of those like that still like talk to the dead and all that?
she told a woman that went to that show. She told
No.
her, "Your daughter is dead."
Oh, I
Hold
know
on.
about
Your
this.
daughter is dead. Your daughter is dead. Her body is here. You're never gonna find her. I'm so sorry. You need to move on. She would want you to move on, and she's telling you that you need to move forward, and that she loves you and all that stuff. Give her a message and everything, right?
I know
The
about this
mom,
one.
the mom literally was sad, and then she died. And then when she died, the lady who had been abducted came back and was like, "Why would you tell my mom that I died?"
Yeah,
Bro, that one got me where I was like, oh, she's such a bitch. I was surprised she never got sued for that, but yeah, I think she
that's
came back after Sylvia died. I think
that's the
Sylvia died.
yeah. No, no, no. I think that's what I remember the
Yeah,
story is that
Sylvia died after the mom, and then she came back and was like, "What the fuck?"
yeah, because she finally got like out or
Yeah,
whatever.
she escaped. She
Yeah,
like she was able to escape or whatever.
yeah. So the mom died thinking that her daughter was dead, and she was like happy to go see her or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fucking terrible.
but
Or not just that. Imagine she was told, "Hey, she's dead," and literally she's suffering every day from these abductors or these people. It's fucking crazy, bro. Sometimes people are just the shittiest people in the world.
that's evil. That's I understand that's what you want to hear, and like you want to tell someone something they want to hear,
Yeah.
but
I'd rather tell you the truth, bro. I'd rather
I
tell you the truth.
I
Hey, I don't
wonder.
know.
I know this is really off topic, and this kind of gets into. We should do an episode just about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But like if she believed it, like the gypsy, like the psychic.
Yeah.
Sorry, not the gypsy, the psychic.
Gypsy.
Uh,
Racist.
um, if she believed what she was saying, like if she's so diluted and thinking she has powers and stuff, like
Yeah, that would
does
be
she
that would be
actually
something
believe?
interesting to explore to
You
see
know,
if it's
because then
really that diluted.
it's like you're so lost in this thing that you believe it yourself. Like so it doesn't take it away the bad, but it's like, wow, you tricked yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
You're so diluted that you believe your own bullshit.
yeah,
Yeah.
because that does happen. Like,
Yeah.
there's some that they genuinely think they talk to spirits and stuff, and then like,
No, bro, that's called schizophrenia. That's called bipolar disorder.
if God talks to you, you're crazy. If you talk to God, it's religion.
No, no, no. If God talks to you, that means you have a pituitary disorder.
But yeah, anyway, um, so are we done with like the Bryans?
The Bryans and the Brendans. Hey, look, you've been nothing but very critical of my fucking stories. You wanted
It's
an
not.
ending, I gave you an ending. It was just a sad
Hey,
ending.
it's not my fault. You can't read.
Hey, fuck you. I stuttered. I stuttered since I was a kid. Fuck you.
I stuttered too. I'm just over here like amazed because I'm watching you get worse and worse as you read.
I'm tired. I'm tired. And while I'm reading, I'm stuttering a lot, dude. It's like really like it's all speech. It's
You're,
literally all
he's
speech.
tired. He's tired. That's tired.
No, it's literally all speech. Come on, you've known me for so many years. You know I stutter all the time. Not as bad, but I try to control it.
Between you and your brother on torn reels, and he's not even reading anything. He's just talking.
Oh, I know, right?
Like,
Dude, but that's the thing. We stutter so bad on everything. Like, it's so bad.
but all right, well, I guess that's a good time to stop. Like,
See, you
there's,
just did it too, bitch.
but like, there's
Don't be
no
a dick.
answer to this one because
No.
I hope he's alive. I think you do too.
Yeah,
Somewhere, I hope he's alive.
yeah. I hope he's alive. I don't
I
think.
I hope he's alive, and I hope his dad knew that he's alive. Like somehow he's like, oh hey, dad's in the hospital. Showed up. He's like, hey, I'm good. I have a great life, and he like told him everything, like how great his life is. He's like, but I want it to stay that way. And he was like, all right. I hope
Or
that's what I
maybe,
hope.
or maybe he, like, I know it seems very unlikely, but maybe he told his dad.
I'm leaving.
Yeah, and the dad just played all this up to cover it
No,
up.
I think maybe the dad was okay with it, and then when he actually did it, he couldn't. You know what I mean? Like he couldn't handle it. Like
Oh,
he
he
was,
had like buyer's remorse. Well,
yeah,
it's a weird, bad way of putting it, but yeah, like he agreed to it, and then
like
all of a sudden
like
he was like,
like he was fine with it, but he didn't believe him.
yeah. And
And
then when
then
he
when he
did it,
did
he was
it, he's
like,
like, no, 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 I want my son back. Like, which is
yeah,
understand. Like that's understandable.
yeah, it is.
But all right, well, we'll see you on the road.
See you guys again. Sorry about the stuttering.